So, tasting packs come in many shapes and sizes, and sometimes you get bottles, and sometimes you get little Capri-Sun pouches. Today, we're going to be using one of these, and we're going to be talking about Chivas Regal, which is a blended 12-year-old whiskey. Let's pop that there. This is going to be a little bit odd, but hey, get that in there. I've come across Chivas before. I mean, if anyone's watched my ranking blended whiskies, they'll know that I have encountered this before. And spoilers, I kind of rate it. I like it. I think you can definitely do a lot worse. As kind of your readily available blends go, Chivas is all right by me. I'm not really quite sure how I'm going to stand that. I'm just going to kind of stick that there, I guess. Stay. Is that of any visual interest at all? Not really, is it? No. Well, it can stay there anyway. 40% because it must be. And actually, because this was part of a corporate pack, I get to see the ingredients. In order of volume, blended Scotch whisky, plain caramel, and water. So there's a fair bit of caramel in this. There's a fair bit of E150. Just to give you some idea. Sample not for resale. Exciting. Right, cool. So that can go there. Get in there. Right, so 12-year-old blended whiskey. If you're new to the world of blended whiskey, this particular one, you take some malt whiskey and you take some grain whiskey and you smash them together. Grain whiskey is much cheaper for a number of reasons. One, it doesn't have to be just malted barley that makes it. You can use corn, rye, wheat, whatever you want. A fair few will use corn because it tends to be one of the cheaper, more readily available grains that you can use. And also, the method of distillation. A Scotch whisky must use a pot still, which can't imagine if you took a swan and flipped it upside down. And then get rid of that image because it's not really anything like that. Do you know what? I'll go into stills another time. Grain whisky can use a more efficient... Is it more efficient? It is more efficient method of distillation, but it does result in maybe not the best. Do you know, you can get some great stuff off of a column still. Column stills, they're faster and cheaper to run, basically, and you get way more spirit off of them. So they're much more. They're otherwise called continuous stills because you just run them all the time, and that's where a lot of grain whisky comes from. Grain whisky can be very good. It can be terrible, because it is just kind of, with all the love in the world, there's not much love in grain whiskey. It's there to do a job, you know. It's kind of like a kitchen sponge. But we have had some good grains in the past, and there are some genuinely excellent grains out there. It depends what you do with it as much as anything else. But anyway, we're not here to talk about grain whisky necessarily. We're here for the Chivas, Aberdeen-based company. I used to live in Aberdeen. I quite like Aberdeen. Everybody else hates it. I'm very much on my own about that one, I realise. But hey, I liked my time in Aberdeen. I still like Aberdeen as a city, so fucking sue me. So, got a pale, yeah, I'll say pale straw kind of a colour. Maybe leaning toward a medium gold, I guess. It's whiskey coloured. There we go. That's. The nose is really fruity up front. There's like a sort of like a loose liquid caramel kind of a aroma. A little bit cereally, like you know, just sort of you opened a box of cornflakes. But it is a really fruity aroma coming off of that. It's really red berries, black currants, a little bit of apple, and if you've ever barbecued bananas, it's like a caramelized banana. Actually, I have some bananas. I should do that. Maybe later. It's a really pleasant nose, actually. I know I said I like that, but even for this, it's, you know, it's nice to be reminded that, you know what? There's probably going to be a few people watching this just being like, Chivas, are you nuts? I think we all know the answer to that by now. It's evoked a very specific memory, and I'm going to have to tell a story for this one. Many, many years ago, in the realm of, what year would it have been? It'd have been 2008. I was 16 years old. Oh God, I was 16 years old. Oh, that was half a lifetime ago. Oh. Anyway. I went on, we'll call it a holiday I suppose, with some friends of mine, and we stayed with a friend of mine's grandmother in Bangor, in Ireland, and we were all having a great time, and he was just kind of like, yeah, I'm staying with my nan, yeah, this is fine, I guess, and I brought, Thornton's were doing this pack of fruit flavoured white chocolate. And there were several ones that were available in the pack. There was a banana flavoured white chocolate, a passion fruit white chocolate, a mango, and a papaya flavoured white chocolate. I think there was a strawberry in there as well. There was a fifth one. Why am I bringing this up? Because it's papaya white chocolate. Was that story worth it for that one tasting note? No. But it's alarming. The spark that just went off in my head. I was like, oh, I'm back in Bangor, circa 2008, or whenever it bloody was. Came up on Twitter today that Chris Fraxon was named to be the Doctor 17 years ago. I should write a will at some point. Anyway, back to the whiskey. Let's try and keep this fucking cheery, John. It's never going to happen. There's an incredibly strong creamy white chocolate and tropical fruit combination. They're very closely intertwined with each other, and they're just the rest of the flavours are quite subdued. There's like a icing sugar sweetness in the mid palate, and then the finish isn't particularly lengthy. It's kind of repeating the notes that we were getting up front. So it's not horrendously complex, but what you do get is very unique, which is impressive, especially for, you know, just sort of a jobbing blended whiskey. Bear in mind, I have not mixed this with anything. This is just as is. It tastes like a memory. I don't know how else to describe it. It's a very specific memory. Can you still get those Thornton's packs? No. Thornton's don't even have shops anymore. I mean, oh, the time in which we live. I miss Thornton's. My favourite part about Thornton's actually was getting a Thornton's Easter egg every year. They were the best. They're good Easter eggs. You never had a Thornton's Easter egg? Treat yourself. Go on, do it. What else are you going to do? Wonderful tropical fruit, cream, white chocolate, a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of caramel. I've polished that off without adding any water to it. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say it doesn't need it. I've got some water there ready because I was expecting to drop it in. I'm not going to bother. I'm going to make an executive decision and say, you don't need it. Most people are probably just going to have that with lemonade or Coke. I'd encourage you to try it neat. You might actually be quite surprised. Now don't get me wrong, it's not one of these whiskies where you have to think too much about it. So it's a great one if you just kind of want to sit down and watch Netflix. Or the TV as they used to call it, I suppose. Or listen to the wireless. Oh God, I'm old. No, down below, what are your favourite blended whiskies to sip? Because they're out there. I've kind of started that conversation going a few videos ago, but I'm intrigued to keep it going. Have you tried anything new out there recently? Had you kind of written off Chivas Regal? Are you curious to try it again? I want to point out as well, this is not a sponsored video, although Chivas, if you want to bring it, but give me a bottle, god damn it. Or don't, it's fine, it's fine. It's fine, it's fine. It's fine. Thumb this video if you enjoyed it, and do join me next time where I'll be drinking something else.